Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel Physics for AP. So today we are going to do the next video, that is refraction of light by different surfaces, the part 2. So while we are waiting for, let us start our channel and let us start our chapter part 2. So today we are going to discuss about laws of reflection. So in our previous chapter we have discussed about the light travels in a straight line, that is a rectilinear propagation of light. By using the help of a pinhole camera we have done that. So in that, what is the principle? Here it is. A scientist called Fermat has explained that light always selects the least path to travel. So Fermat Principle. So Fermat Principle means the light always selects the least path to travel. So that is what we call it as a Fermat Principle. So for example, if we take, we have any 2 points. So what is the path which is the least distance? It cannot be in a curve, or it cannot be a double curve, or it cannot be like this. So the light always travels in a straight line. So the least path between the 2 points, that is 2 points A and B, will be a straight line. It will be a straight line. So this straight line represents the least path. So that is the path which is selected by the light. So the light selects the least path to travel. So that is what we call it as a Fermat Principle. Next, coming to the laws of reflection. So we have 2 laws of reflection. So in that, the very first law is, we know that always light travels in a straight line, that is rectilinear propagation. So obviously we can write it as that one. But for an exam point of view, we write 2 laws. That is, the first law is the angle of incidence is equals to angle of reflection. And the second law is the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal. These 3 lies in a same plane. So this is what the laws of reflection says. That is, the first one is the angle of incidence is equals to the angle of reflection. And the second law is the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal lies in a same plane. So how can we do that experimentally? So for this is the lab activity. So let us do a lab activity over here. So assume this as a mirror, plane mirror. So assume this as a plane mirror A and plane mirror B. So for the public point of view, this is a 4 marks question. How can you verify the first law, or how can you verify the second law? So they ask like that type of questions over here. And next, this is the normal. So this is the normal, that is the line which is drawn perpendicular to the surface is said to be as a normal. And next, we have drawn an incident ray. So this incident ray is making an angle I. So what happened here is, when we see that incident ray in a mirror, we can see its image is forming on the other side. So how that image can be formed is, so that is the image which is formed by the incident ray. So that is the incident ray image. So by viewing into the mirror, we have to draw a line with a pencil, and we have to draw on the the same side. That is, so this is the incident ray, the image is formed on this side, and by viewing on this side, we have to view from here. So by viewing from this side, we have to draw a ray which should be straight to this ray. So the image which is formed inside the mirror should be drawn a straight line to this point. At the point of instance, to this point we need to draw a straight line. And now how it should be look like is, the image of the incident ray and the reflected ray should be a straight line. So now this is considered to be as an incident ray. So here the angle will be taken as R. Now if we measure the angle I and angle R, so these two angles, that is angle I, will be definitely equals to the angle R. For suppose if we have taken 30 degrees, here the R also will be as 30. If we take as 45, here also it will be as 45. If we take 60, here also it will be as 60. If we take 0, here also it will be taken as 0. So then what does the 0 indicates here? So 0 is, that is the angle which should be which is taken from the normal. Okay, so what is meant by the angle of incidence? So angle of incidence is, so this is the normal ray and this is the incident ray. The angle between the normal and the incident ray is said to be the angle of incidence. What is the angle of reflection here? The angle between the incident ray and the reflected ray is said to be as angle of reflection. And these two angles will be always equal. Any type of reflection, whether it is irregular or regular, whatever it may be, if we see the word reflection, then the angle of incidence will be exactly equal to the angle of reflection. Either it is a curved surface or a spherical surface, whatever it may be. If it is reflection, then the angle of incidence will be angle of reflection. So that is the first law. And what is the second law? Second law, just now I told that this incident ray considered as a P, and the reflected ray considered as a Q, and the normal considered as a N. Now the incident ray, the normal, the reflected ray, all these three lies in a same plane. That means all these three, that is incident ray, reflected ray, normal, lies in a same plane. So assume my hand as a surface. So here those three lines can be seen in our hand. So they are taken as a plane. So this is completely taken as a plane surface. So this is completely taken as a plane surface. Okay. So that is the second law. The incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal lies in a same plane, and that plane is said to be as the plane of reflection. It is said to be as a plane of reflection. If anybody asks you, we know that the incident ray and normal ray, reflected ray is in the same plane. So is there any name for that plane? Yes, there is a name, that is called as a plane of reflection. If it belongs to refraction, then we call it as a plane of refraction, that we learn in the next chapter, that is on the 5th chapter. So this is what the angle of incidence and angle of reflection both will be equal, and the normal, the incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray lies in the same plane. So that plane is said to be as a plane of reflection. Okay, so this is the lab activity. For this you need to write what we write is, we have to write the aim, we have to write the apparatus, what are the materials required, we have to write the apparatus, and for that we need to write a procedure. If there is any table, so we need to consider it as a table, angle I R. And last, what is that the conclusion? For this, if you need, you can write as a precautions. What are the precautions you need? So what are the precautions here? Well, the precautions are while you are measuring the angle of incidence and angle of reflection, it should be accurate, and the normal should be perpendicular to the mirror surface. So okay, so these are all the precautions what we need to do the lab activity to find out the verification of law of reflection. Okay, Now next, when consider as a plane mirror, so this is a plane mirror, considering it as a plane mirror. So the back side is coated, so that is the mirror surface will be on A side and the image will be formed on the B side. So if we consider any image which is in front of it, any image which is in front of it, that is the object in front of it, the image will be formed on the B side. So how does the image forms over here? So first, light always travels in a straight line, so it always travels in a straight line, and again it reflects back. So again it reflects back. So now what we are doing here is we will draw the dotted lines as it is coming from this side. So assume this as a straight line. Okay, and the next, the light which is incident on any of the surface, consider as this. So this is the incident ray and it gets reflect in this direction. It should be equal. So let us take it as approximation. Consider, I am considering it as an approximation over here. So assume it as a straight line. And considering another straight line over here, here also I am considering it as a straight line, that is the image. So this is the incident ray and it reflects back. This is the incident ray and this is the reflected ray. So this is the object, consider it as O dash. So we can see here the two rays are intersected, that is the two reflected rays are intersected. So when the two rays, that is the reflected ray, extended reflected rays, we call it as the extended reflected rays, when the two extended reflected rays intersect each other, there we get an image. So there we get an image which is called the virtual image. So we call it as the image, that is I dash. Okay, now here this is the incident ray. So this is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray, and now the reflected ray is extended over here, and this is the incident ray, and it is reflected back on the same path, and this is the extended reflected ray. Now these two are intersected over here. Now there we get an image which is called as a virtual image. So the mirror which we drawn here, it is a plane mirror. So always the plane mirror shows the virtual image. So what are the properties of the plane mirror? So the characteristics, that is the characteristics of the plane mirror are, the characteristics of plane mirror are, that is the first one, the object distance is equals to image distance. So this is the object distance, this is the object distance u, and this is the image distance v. Here the object distance will be equals to the image distance. And second, object height is equals to image height. So whatever the height we are having, this is the object height, this is the image height. So these two are always equal to each other. And third, the nature of the image will be always virtual image and erected. And next, fourth one, the magnification of the plane mirror will be always +1. So what is the magnification? So this magnification will come in our next part. So these are the characteristics of the plane mirror. Okay, so the object distance is equals to image distance and the object height equals to image height. The image is always virtual and erected and the magnification will be +1. So thank you. Let us go on next.